No idea what happened there, guys, but I'm back up. Do not know. Do not know what happened there, how I got kicked off. But I didn't do anything. I was raging because I got killed as Jason. I saw Inti come in. I was talking to everybody. So, I'm back. I'm on another chat. Was I never online? I thought we talked about your drawing, man. Your drawing's awesome. I looked at it. Just hold on 1 second. Sorry, I didn't even have my lighting up. Alright. Well, let's get out, because the cops are like right there. I think the cops are right there. Now they're on the other side. They never got gas. But no, man, I saw your drawing, so it looked awesome. And sorry, I think I'm in another chat. I don't know what's going on here. Can you guys see me now? Because it says I'm live. Inti is here. Inti, what's going on, man? Sorry, I didn't know I was off. I was in the middle of being Jason, and they were trolling me, and I may have raged a little bit, and I think I got kicked off. Or something happened. But the stream ended. I didn't even realize that it ended. So, still working at the kinks now. It shows I'm live right now, so I am. Just please confirm that I am live. The studio says live. It's on. Thank you, Inti. Thank you. I was on for like 40 minutes before, and then in that match where I was Jason, I got kicked out. Well, if you guys did miss it, I got killed. Embarrassingly owned. The usual team up BS that goes on in this game now. And Inti's here. Good to see you, Inti. Haven't seen you in a couple weeks, but good to have you here.
Tommy, right here.
Yo, let me get him. Let me get him, Bunny. Bunny, come on. Bunny, let me freaking get Tommy, bro.
Tommy, come here. Don't
Tommy,
run away.
come back.
Tommy, don't run
escape.
away. Come over here, Tommy.
What a wuss. What a wuss.
That guy.
Go ahead, kill me, bro. Oh yeah, you can kill Jason because someone left.
That guy smack talked me. That dude who ran out as Tommy smack talked me so hard. I can't believe you missed that. I can't believe you missed that to have the context, but that is so hilarious. The dude trolled me so hard when he was not even the girl with the sweater. He was just support. And these other two better players were Tommy and Deborah with the sweater. And he just trash talked me. The dude runs out as Tommy. And he asked to be Tommy. That's even better. In the lobby after that game ended, he asked to be Tommy in the next game. He got it and he ran out because he's a little... You know what. Anyways. Mr. Matthews says, you're good now. The last thing we saw was... Forgot my controller. What? You're kidding. You never saw any of the plays? I escaped. I died once. I escaped once. I got killed as Jason. I was starting a match as Deborah. This match right here that you saw. This is the match that you saw. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe I was off the air. Because it says live, I've been on for an hour. I do apologize. I'm so sorry, guys. I had no idea what happened. I have my studio, my YouTube studio is minimized, and I'm looking at OBS. and it said 1 hour, but I should have known something was wrong because my OBS counter said only 1 viewer, so something was wrong. While my studio, I checked it once and it said like 11. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Thanks so much for sticking around, guys. Wow, that's ridiculous. Stupid YouTube. I'm back. I'm live. I survived. You didn't see me get killed. I mean, I didn't get killed. I didn't get killed at all. Slate is wiped clean. Wiped fresh clean. Mr. Matthews says, well, can you repeat everything you said in the past hour? I said, I hadn't seen Soy's picture. Then I checked Reddit. So I checked Reddit. It looked great. Somebody posted the link in the chat.
What's up, boys? What's up? Y'all hate me? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Y'all can suck my joint. What's up? I'ma shoot you in the face. What's up? Y'all hate me? Y'all hate me? What's up? What's up? Y'all hate me? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, boys? What's up?
Yes. Especially.
Yo, is Draco's,
Inti says it went on for about 40 minutes into the intro screen. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. And now the chat has reappeared for me. I guess some weird glitch happened. Yeah, man. I had my studio minimized because I had another screen up for light, and the YouTube studio was. I checked it and it was closed because I saw you guys talking. Like, this is weird. He isn't on yet. And Kevin Bacon is here. Mookie Duke is here.
why you gotta... Yeah, everyone bottom.
But yeah, so
Bad Tommy is in game ban.
Nerd got sleepy and left. I know he left. I'm like, why did he leave so early? Like, what happened? Nerd always sticks around. I should have clued in there and that I was raging. I was in the middle of raging, so I got into the Jason battle. I killed the first 4. I was awesome, and then they got the sweater, and I started falling apart. So I'll give you the play-by-play. So, started as part 7 Jason. I ran as part 7 Jason. I went in. I killed Mookie Duke like right off the top. Perfect. I felt awesome. Beautiful shift. Beautiful shift. I knocked the phone out. I knocked the power out. They brought the power and the phone back on. Like 2 seconds later, the cops were called. They had called Tommy. I killed Kevin Bacon. I killed some other player. I killed 2 other players. One was Kenny. One was Vanessa. And then I choked on the rest. They killed me.
Did anyone else get away?
Trash talk me hard. Mr. Matthews says, did I insult Bloomberg or Bernie? YouTube you made YouTube censor that. Bloomberg and Bernie are whack. There you go, YouTube. Censor away. And he says, that face looks really familiar to Soy. I've never seen it. Yeah, I've seen it before as well. Definitely. But I can't place the character it is. Mr. Brother says it's Pete. That's what I said in the chat when you guys were talking about it. I'm like, that's not me. It's like I rock a beard hard, but that's not me. So he says, LOL, you wish. No. I'm trying to think who it is. That's what I said. I'm like, that can't be me. Just some other dude that rocks a beard. Pavarotti. That's a good option. Good choice.
Yo, I have gas. Does anyone have a boat thingy?
A propeller?
A boat thingy. Anybody got that boat thingy? So he said no hint. And he says, I know that face. So we need to figure it out, guys. So he's not giving us anything on it. We need to figure it out. And it starts with a G, so we've got 1 letter. That's our 1 hint. Alright. So I've got a map. There's no boat. Why is he looking for the boat thingy? There's no map. There's no boat on this map. Did you get that part to the thing that's not on this map? Just wondering. And he says, is asking if he's a celebrity, and somebody's already been here. Well, at least I got a baseball bat. I don't think we're gonna get done. But it's a character he plays. Okay. So the name is G, and it's a character this dude plays. There you go, Em. Can you use his name in a sentence? Say it in the form of a question as well, please. So it says use your imagination. So he played in X-Men. Well, it's not Hugh Jackman, and we know that. Gandalf. Gandalf, there we go. Ian McKellen. Ian McKellen. Or McKellen. I think Ian McKellen. One day I'll look like Gandalf, but I'm not that white yet. So that's awesome, man.
I got kidding anyways, though. Unless you escape.
What happened? Stop!
OG says yes. And he says he looks like Gimli more than Gandalf. Ian McKellen is more gaunt. That might be the case, but it's definitely got the Lord of the Rings feel to it. It's all about that spread beard. The real thick one. OG says Pete equals Gandalf. In time, OG, in time. Give me another 20, 30 years. I'll walk around and people can call me Stormcrow and Mithrandir. And I'll always herald trouble. So he says, I think Pete fits Radagast. I'm Radagast the Brown. I do love animals. I can't deny that. Do you like the? I do love mushrooms as well. I meant foraged natural mushrooms, not those type of mushrooms. For everybody keeping score. Because Radagast might prefer the other type of mushrooms. Based on what we know of his character in the books and what we see in the movies. Mr. Matthew says, Pete is one of the skinny dwarves they put in the Hobbit. I'm in the background. I'm dwarf background. I don't really fit the bill. They just put me in the costume. I fit in the back. But thank you. I take both Gandalf and Radagast as a compliment. And Inti, I will answer your question. I've watched every episode Picard so far, but I'm going to say hello to Megatech. Megatech is in the house. How's it going? He says he's back. But no, I've watched every episode of Picard so far. And I'll sum it up in... Sum it up in like one sentence. I think Discovery is better. I honestly think Discovery is better. But what do you think, Inti? What do you think so far about Picard? It's got some moments that are decent, but overall. So, and we talked about Bob Iger stepping down. I was talking in the chat about that, and you guys didn't hear it. It cut me out. I said that it started, he's gone, and OG said something that I thought he was responding to me because I said something similar before he said it. So funny. Tech's still wondering who the two Blizzards are. Yeah, exactly. The Blue Wizards, exactly. Who are they?
Yep, nope.
Whoop. Not going that way. Did he put another trap there? No, he did not.
Shit, what am I doing?
Inti says, poor Picard. He gets yelled,
Yeah, I got that.
insulted, or disrespected no matter where he goes. He's living in a universe that's
shit.
populated by Admiral
that a
Holdos
dead body?
and Greta Thunbergs. Yeah, man. That's all he does is take it. Picard would never have stood for the treatment that he gets here, no matter how old he is. It's ridiculous. And Tech says, have you seen any of that Star Wars Girls video on how Picard destroyed 7 and 9's character? No. Haven't checked it out. I used to watch some of her stuff, and I still dig her, but I don't watch her Star Trek stuff or much of that, her content. I don't have time. I usually watch everybody here, the videos that come out.
Ah, damn it. Great, now what? Oh shit.
Oh, that's the OG. How dare you? How dare you? Uh-oh. And so he says he's leaving at 10:30 tonight since he has a place to be. No, all good, man. All good. Glad you were here since the start. Sorry about the screw up with the stream, man. I was on fire. I had some rage comments you guys would have loved. Some salty comments. Inti says, I'm only beginning to watch the next gen this past couple of weeks. It's miles ahead, no wonder people say it destroys his character. Oh yeah, man. I've been rewatching Next Gen as well recently. As the show started, I started in season 1. I've just started season 2. I'm about 4 episodes in of season 2, and it's just night and day. The depth of the show is ridiculous. Like watching Picard is like watching some sleazy CW. It's like Grey's Anatomy. It's like it's dark. It's brooding. It's all about like sexual tension. It's like, not to say TNG and Star Trek shouldn't have some of that stuff, but not 99% of the time. There's no hope in Picard. Get me started on that rant and I'll go on for the rest of the night. And every episode just keeps getting worse. I actually prefer Discovery. At least Discovery tried to be something different. They borrowed everything they could possibly steal from Star Trek canon and not called it Star Trek canon, but at least there were times they tried something to be their own show. This Picard show has done nothing to be its own show. And it borrows constantly. Firefly, Babylon 5, Stargate, you name the sci-fi show, Picard has borrowed from it. Rangers and Star Trek. Yeah. That happens all the time. Now I'm ranting. Mr. Matthews says, Pete, did you watch Nerd's video about Videocast? I was talking about it. You guys were talking about it and I was responding. I completely agree with what Nerd was saying. While I was offline, I was in the background, I was talking. I was saying the exact same thing you guys were talking about. Subcounts don't mean anything. It's all about your active viewers, and it's you guys. I make the videos for you guys, and I stream for you guys because you come in the chat, you talk to one another, and you talk to me, and we all have a good time. Tex says, last week I played Friday 13th. I actually managed to kill every counselor, including Tommy. You can see it on Jesse Miller's stream. Nice, bud. Nice. It's awesome when you're on that run. It's awesome when you jump, when you're in the groove and you go. It's just that moment that if they get the sweater, you just gotta, like, steal. You gotta turn to steal, because if you crack, you're dead. Indy says, I never watched Next Gen. Even as a kid, I checked it out now and I'm enjoying it very much. Picard's best weapons are his diplomacy and cunning. In this new show, he swords fights and dresses like a pirate. Oh, the pirate episode. Don't even get me started on that episode where he dressed up as a pirate. Because now you've watched the show and you know his background. He's French. He's actually a French national citizen. There's the episode with his mama where they're in time with the Traveler, with Wesley, and he's talking to his mother in French. Why does he need to speak in a bad French fake accent? Ugh, this show, and you're right. You're right. Head and toe. Head and toe. Next Gen is awesome. A lot of people don't like the early seasons because how much Wesley is in it. I like the Wesley Crusher character. Yeah, he's annoying, but he's the one I identified when that show was on. He's the one I identified with. So he says, guys, should I draw my North American Animal series? You were talking about that, Zoe, and I said, go for it. I said, you do you. If you feel you have enough time to do both, that you're not stretched out, that you don't feel that you're going to leave yourself stretched thin where you can't finish both properly, then don't do it. But if you feel you can do both drawings, I say go for it, man. Just do it. I just have to buy erasers and a drawing pad. I say go for it. Inti says, Picard reminds me a lot of Farscape. That show I did saw. Yes, Farscape as well. Thank you, Inti. That's another one. But that ship captain is totally the guy from Firefly. That ship captain is totally the guy from Firefly. They've just taken the character and like recast it and kind of slightly changed it. Are you taking me to the toilet? Are you taking me to the toilet for a swirly? I'll let you kill me if you're taking me for a swirly. Indeed, the F-bombs, exactly. So many unnecessary swearing, so much unnecessary swearing, just to sound cool and hip. It's just, oh my god, it's just trying to appeal to a younger demographic that doesn't watch Star Trek. It's normie Star Trek. It's dumbed down, watered down, normie Star Trek. And you're killing the fan base just like Lucasfilm has affected the Star Wars fan base. And that fan base is a lot larger in the general audience than Star Trek is. Star Trek was definitely more zoned in and specialized. Oh. This makes my head hurt. TechCom says Star Trek had colorful metaphors, but there's no reason they never dropped the F-bomb. They're more civilized than us. Exactly, Mega. Exactly. Star Trek, and there's so much drug use. There's so much drug and alcohol use. Yes, there was synthahol. And yes, there were episodes where people got drunk for whatever reason, whether they were affected. Like they had the Naked Time in the original series, and then they had that ripoff in season 1 of TNG where Tasha Yar bangs Data because they get the same. They didn't have a lot of original ideas, so they were born with script ideas. But on the most part, the 24th or 25th century, depending on what timeline you're in, it's supposed to be a time where we've left all that stuff behind. We've left the gratuity and like the unnecessary like rudeness and hatefulness towards it. All that stuff is gone. They talk about this being like a diverse show that'll bring unity and togetherness, but they don't understand it because they've never watched the original TNG, because that's what the original Star Trek and TNG was all about. It was all about that. It was all about overcoming stereotypes and biases. Like Spock. Spock's character was built on that, to overcome stereotypes and biases and racism. And they don't get it. They just don't get it. It's hilarious. All they add is swearing and the incest, like this, like the implied incest between the Romulan brothers and sisters thing. Like what the F is that? Like what is that? Anyways, now I'm just full out ranting. Mr. Buddy says, you know, Picard and Beverly Crusher knocked it out every time they were on leave. More than likely. We got some new people. We still got, and Kevin Bacon. AT says Farscape even did the eye ripping thing. Oh yeah, yep. So it says plus a box cutter. Gotcha. Nice. AT says Wesley was only annoying for the first few episodes. He grew on me, and I'm on season 3, episode 3. Nice. I even like him in the first season when he's supposed to be, but as he starts to progress, for sure. I like that Traveler episode. That's one of my favorite TNG episodes, the Traveler. Mr. Matthews says Wesley was definitely in there to bring a younger audience. Pretty sure it worked. It did. But even though I was watching original series at that time, but the thing that always held me back about her, I loved the TOS. I loved original series. I used to rent VHSs constantly, like tons of them from my video store. Because by that time they had a deal where you could rent 6 for $5 or something, and I would rent the individual episodes and I would go home and watch them on repeat over and over again. I didn't have a character I could identify with. And Wesley was perfect. Wesley was perfect at that time. Perfect for me to watch. So he says, thanks Pete, I needed erasers. Needed erasers are an artist's best friend. I bet, man. I've tried my hand at drawing. I'm not good. I'll fully admit it. I do it for fun, but your drawing was great. My drawing is, I'm good. I'm good. And he says, I am fully functional. Exactly. Tasha Yar. That was another one. Tasha Yar was a great character, but I think she partied and banged her way off the show. So that didn't work out for her. So yeah, there's my girlfriend texting me as well, telling me I was never online. Text says the early season of Next Gens were bad because Roddenberry overdid the Peace Without Conflict storyline. He may have had an ego, but he had a vision. CBS had no vision and now ruining the show. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. And he said, yeah, I did notice that weird Lannister vibe with the Romulans. I think they toned it down. In the first couple episodes, it was more prevalent, and I think they toned it down. I think, like, when it was screened by whoever, maybe by CBS told them to, like, cut that F down. Mr. Matthews says, who is watching SpongeBob? I heard that as well. I'm not sure. Mr. Crab or whatever, like his boss. Mr. Crustacean. I can't remember his boss. He was in the background. TechCom says, Spock and Kirk were great, but Bones was always my favorite. That green-blooded son of a bitch. It's his revenge for all those arguments he lost. Yep. Bones was awesome. Because he was the go-between. He was the balance. He was the balance to the yin and yang of Kirk and Spock. He always kept them He always kept them grounded. He always was there to cut Spock down a peg when he needed to be, and he was always there to lift Kirk up a little bit when he needed a little boost to believe in himself. And he had some good storylines himself. But that wasn't really until the third season, when they started giving the other characters more stories. And he says there's... so he says... Oh, let's see. Read Inties coming first. Game of Thrones was a big hit, so Picard obviously needs their Lannisters. Yep. So he says about the box cutter, guys. Charcoal pencils aren't going to sharpen in a sharpener. Ah, so you just like kind of... Got it. So you kind of chiseled them down. Inti says there's no show Picard didn't rip off. Heck yeah. Inti says I never saw Firefly, but if you say the pilot of Picard is a ripoff, I'm sure he is. Totally, man. He is totally a ripoff of Firefly. And I love Firefly because I was a big Joss Whedon fan in the day. Buffy and Firefly. Totally a ripoff. The thing I don't get about the Captain is the best character in that show. He's the most likable character. What I don't get about is why he has two EMHs that look exactly like him. One that looks like a professional doctor type, and the other guy looks like Jason Momoa. I'm not sure what's going on there, because he's reading a book about existentialism and not wanting to live real life. So maybe that's why he has these fake holograms, and his crew that he was on this ship with are dead, and he was responsible for them dying. But the character that drives me the most crazy, well, it's a tie between that millennial doctor that was banging Bruce Maddox, that turned out to be banging Bruce Maddox, and Raffi, JL, Picard's associate, where the lieutenant commander refers to the admiral as JL. Not Jean-Luc, not Captain Admiral Picard, not Jean-Luc, JL. And she's always high on snakeweed. She's like she's vaping while flying in the last episode. Like, what kind of message are you sending to viewers, to younger viewers, that it's okay to be high AF 24/7? What kind of... Unbelievable. Now you got me going again. So it says, that was all done in a ballpoint pen, Pete, so just imagine. Well, yeah, exactly. If you had the pencil. Looking forward to your next one, man. Inti says, Tashiar was so fine. Data totally tapped that. I think a lot of the cast did. That's why she was asked to leave the show. I think a lot of stuff was going on there. Tech says, they also took away Deanna Troy's sex appeal. I know when she looked sexy, she had no brains. But when she got an actual uniform with no sex appeal, she crashed the Enterprise twice. I liked what they did to her character in the movies. They gave her a bit more depth by the time they got to the movies. And she says Troy is also very attractive. I noticed there are no good looking or sexy ladies in Picard. Well, yeah. Well, we've got the two twins. We've got Dodge and Soji. That's your typical like millennial TV viewer. That's who that character is supposed to be. You've got the millennial doctor, and oh my god, I've heard rumors that that character is going to be revealed at the end of a fully transitioned, like transsexual female. So we'll see on that. I've heard rumors on it. OG says women drivers, sorry. Mr. Matthews says, Pete, when I was a kid, my parents had some kind of subscription where they got a new VHS tape every 2 months with 2 TOS episodes on it. Oh my god, that's awesome. That's how I watched Star Trek originally. That is awesome. It's like, it sounds like a Columbia House, but for videos. There you go, Mech. I mean, there you go, Megatech. Somebody's playing... I think there's the turtles in the background saying pizza time. It's pizza time, dude! Mr. Matthews says, does anyone remember those? I had that uncut. I did not have that here in Canada. I had to go to the video store to get it. Inti says, why would he have a hologram of himself instead of a good-looking lady? Exactly, if he's such like a... But like they always try to make him... He's supposed to be the sex symbol, the male sex symbol in the cast. Why did... Because the Jason Momoa hologram, like, come on. And he's flying the ship. He's like with his arm back, and he's like got his hand on his face, like leaning over. He's just got like one hand on the thing. It's like, yeah, I'm driving the shit out of this. It's like, come on. Like, Tech says, yeah, Bones and Kirk fell for the same girl in the City of the Edge forever. The girl who was fated to die. The novel of Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, they actually references when they argue travel time. Yep, and that was Joan Collins. I'm pretty sure that was Joan Collins. Now, but he also had that story in the third season. The third season episode I prefer of Bones' love story, and I can't remember the name of the episode, but it was with the teacher. He went to this, he had a disease and he was going to die. He told Spock and Kirk. They went to this planet. They ended up meeting this people. He falls in love with this woman. The teacher ends up having the technology to save Bones, but in order to do it, Kirk has to break the Prime Directive to interfere with the natural progression of the planet because they're on their way to... But he had to do that too because I think they were on their way to death. Like the asteroid they were on, it was an asteroid and they were going to fly into like the sun or something. But that's my favorite McCoy love interest story. If you guys remember that one. Tell me the episode of that, name of that episode. I can't remember that. And all our yesteryears as well. That's another one where Spock and... that was one of the last episodes of season 7, where Spock and McCoy are separated from Kirk and they're put through the time machine because the one planet's being blown up. And Mr. Atos throws them through the dimension portal and they go to different time periods of this planet that's dying because the sun's going nova. And they get stuck in like the Arctic with a prisoner who'd been sent there to die, the woman, and they've both McCoy and Spock, well, it's more Spock owning it, but you know what I'm talking about. Now you got me talking about, we're not even playing, this is awesome. Soy says, Picard makes Spaceballs sounds like a serious movie. I'm not even scratching the surface, Soy. I'm not even scratching the surface to how bad it is. How bad it is. This last episode, they literally had a character, Raffi, flying the ship while smoking a vape, smoking what's called snake leaf in the world, which is supposed to be like some kind of like spice or black lotus. It's like drugs, like meth, maybe just weed, but I'm assuming it's stronger. And she's drinking. She's got a glass on the dash, and she's pulling her vape, talking to her friend or something, because she's trying to get Picard credentials to like get into a secret installation, and she's taking drinks, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Mr. Matthews said they came in really cool clamshell boxes. They were super cool. You didn't keep all of them. I still have some of mine, though, somewhere. That's awesome, guys. So he says, we talked about the Picard makes Spaceballs. Sounds like baseball. Tech. By the way, don't know if you already talked about it or not, but I had 4 cheese stuffed crust DiGiorno. It was good. That's funny because I had a point to talk about there. Tony's Pizza. Tony's Pizza. Well, let's just start talking. Mr. Matthews sent me a picture today from the supermarket or the grocery store of Tony's Pizza. So I needed to bring it up. So it says TechCom, how are you not constipated? As TechCom says, only 60 women in Picard is 7 of 9, even if they didn't showcase her appeal. I thought she looked great. I thought Jerry Ryan looked amazing for her age. It's been 20 years since Voyager. And she looked awesome. It's the highlight of the show. Highlight of the show. OGA says, I have VHS tape storage issues. Uh-oh. Sounds like you got a collection going on over there, OG. So it says, I love pizza, but not that bad. Mr. Matthews says, I was anticipating pizza talk, so I sent Pete a picture of Tony's Pizza. There it is. There it is, guys. Mentioning it. Did you send him Squirt? Not yet. That sounds just wrong, Soy. It sounds wrong for me to read that. It's like you're setting me up for a troll, making me read that. But he did not send me a picture of Squirt. OG says Spock reverted to primitive mode. Yes! Yes, OG. I love that episode. That's all our yesteryears, I'm sure of it. Or yesterdays or something. But I can't remember that other episode where they go to the planet and Bones has the disease that he's only got so much time to live. There's a lot of good episodes in the third season. Third season is so good. That's when they got it. Like DC Fontana was really in the writing staff, and the stories got super sci-fi. Super sci-fi. I could talk about TOS forever. Oh, shut the hell up. Pizza time. I'm having a good time. And he said 7 of 9 is a violent psychopath. Now, much like everyone in the Federation. Exactly. Like, what the hell? They ruined her character.
Why won't you fucking die?
Help! Why are you leaving me behind?
You suck. You suck.
But no, INT, they do that to all the characters. I'm not sure why the Federation is being portrayed. Well, I know why, because it's politics. They're trying to make people in control, like an authority, look like dicks. They're trying to make them look like terrible people. The Federation were never like that. The Federation of Planets were brought together to bring the universe together in peace and harmony. Not through force, but they're making them look like Nazis. Like, get out of here. Anyways, more ranting. Like, I could go all night. Mr. Matthews says, is that the one where McCoy goes crazy because he accidentally injected himself with the adrenaline? Yes. That's City on the Edge of Forever, where he goes crazy. Joan Collins. And they ended up having to let her die because she had, if she did live, she would have stalled the U.S.'s entry to World War II and the Nazis would have successfully won the war. That pizza time guy is annoying. Mr. TechCom says, awesome dude, Mr. Matthews. And Mr. Matthews says he needed to be in the need to know. I do. So I need to now suggest, now that we're in the stream, I can talk about this. And Soy has mentioned something similar in terms of me doing like the Traeger's cheese, but we could also do like food exchange as well. Like I could send stuff from Canada. There's this ton of maple syrup here, guys. Like, yeah, I get it, pizza time. I get it. But maple syrup for Tony's Pizza, we could work something out there. Just saying. TechCom said Star Wars has its own drug and not too modern. It's not too modern. Like these dumb studios want to buy some dust sticks. Exactly. But they've also got spice. Like it's there in the background, but the characters aren't always ripped on it. Like this character is ripped in every episode, except one. This character is high in every episode you see her, Raffi. Except one where we find out where they go to Free Cloud because they're looking for Bruce Maddox, the character they ripped off from TNG. They go to Free Cloud and we find out she has a son. And that episode she decides to stop. She's not doing anything anymore. So she goes down to Free Cloud. We get to meet her son, and she tells the son, "Oh, I'm clean now, son. I'm clean. You just smoked in the last episode. The last 3 episodes, you've been ripped off your gourd." Oh man, this show, too much fun. Tex says Jerry Ryan also played Sonya Blade in the YouTube series Mortal Kombat Legacy. She's perfect. She really is. And so he says those are cigarettes that I have never smoked. I would if I could, Pete. All good. I'm just joking, man. Mr. Matthews says, Jeremy, I'll remember Squirt next time I'm at the store. Do it. Send me pictures of it. Send me pictures of it. Inti says, did Shao Kahn just kill you? Yep. Did indeed. It's pizza time. Inti, you nailed it. They're trying to make the Federation look like Trump's America. And it's the exact opposite. The left has gone so crazy. They're making the United Federation of Planets look like hard-right conservatives. Like, what? What? Uh-oh. I'm still with the killers.
Find them, Jason. Make them pay for what they did to us.
So it's Inti says, sorry to rant. The contrast between both shows is truly eye-opening. No problem, man. I will rant about that anytime. I'll join you on that rant. So he says, that is why entertainment is not worth my time, and I get Canada stuff here all the time. Yeah, exactly. You're probably close enough that it comes across the border. Just flows across the border naturally. Let me find the phone box and I'll keep up on the chat. I don't want to get killed too easy on Jason. Nope, over there. And he says, I've never been more convinced about a hidden agenda in entertainment after watching the two shows back-to-back, The Next Gen versus Picard. That's all it is, man. It's just an agenda. It's just trying to send a message. That's all they're doing. They're using these brands as an agenda. The Last Jedi was bad, but if you're a Star Trek fan, Picard is way worse. Way worse. It's like you nailed it. It's like Holdo's every minute. Every character is an Admiral Holdo. And the one redeeming character is a self-hating, like, loser. The pilot. The captain. Tech says, afterwards, girl video showcases the Federation needs Borg tech to combat the Borg, and yet 7 of 9 doesn't share her secrets and says she wastes her life doing nothing with herself. Is this person hiding in here? Didn't think so. What the heck? Why are you hiding in there, bro? What are you doing?
Stop, Jason.
What are you doing? I thought you were a bot for a second.
Make them suffer like we did.
So I said Spice is Dune. Oh, I thought Spice was in Star... I thought George Lucas sold Spice as well, like the Spice Mines. I thought it was. I know Spice is more traditionally in Dune, but I thought there was mention in it as well. Like spice trading, like spice traders. Or is that just food? I might be mixing drugs and food up. OG says you should rant against the coming of the night bird. Mr. Matthews says, Pete Stacy is part of a global pen pal group and they send gifts to each other. 1 month they all send other packages of snacks from their respective countries. It was awesome. That's awesome, man. That's exactly what I was thinking. But I knew people would already be on it. People are already on that stuff. That's an awesome idea. Which he says completely appropriate. Tech says Spice is also Star Wars soy. Oh, and dude, excellent. And oops, I threw a knife by accident. So he says I wouldn't even say Trump is all right. The guy's a centrist. He is. He's a little to the right of center, but he's not super to the right. He's more left than most Republicans. It's just that they don't like the guy, so they've gone crazy and gone like even farther beyond the left. Like there's no coming back. There's no coming back. Tech says CBS didn't even realize the United Federation of Planets has no left or right politics because there are no Democrats or Republicans and no liberals or conservatives. Exactly, Mega. All those things are gone. That's what I was saying when we started on it. All those things are gone. Everybody works together. Whether you wanted to call it like a communist utopia, I don't think it's all at all. It is that at all. I think there's a lot of free will in the Star Trek universe. TOS, Next Generation, DS9. We haven't talked DS9. I love DS9. And Voyager, and I am a Voyager fan. I will defend Voyager to the bitter end. I know it's like the little brother or sister to the rest of the series, but Mr. Matthews says, Inti, sadly, I understand that Patrick Stewart is behind a lot of it. He sure is, Em. He sure is. I can't wait. He's also remaking A Christmas Carol, and he's going to change Ebenezer Scrooge's character. It might be named Trump. I'll give you the heads up, but he's going to make it more up to date in today's politics. So that should be fun. Can't wait for that. Take one of the most classic literature short stories of all time and put current day politics on it. Love it. Even though he's already played it. He's already played it. Come on, bro. Come on, Dio. Come on. OG says, indeed, they have moved far left. Exactly. It's beyond far left. They're in another dimension to this point. They're in another dimension. And I know a lot of the YouTubers that I watch that cover this stuff, they're doing it for the clicks and for the pull. But the stuff like, what's his name? Amazing Lucas covers, like that stuff is crazy. Like some of the stuff going on, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So it says Trump, 90s Trump would have been a Democrat even early 2000s, even mid 2000s. So it says, yep, and OG, he was a Democrat. Yeah, exactly. He was trying to buddy up to the Clintons when Bill was in power. He was trying to get in to the party at that time. He was donating tons of money to the party. They didn't have a problem with him then. They didn't have a problem with his millions then when he was dumping money in their coffers to get Clinton reelected. To beat Dole. I think it was Dole the second time. But yeah. Indy says the Spice Melange was in Dune and Tom Brady's
Get your ass over here. Let's fight.
poop in Star Trek.
Nay, Fortnite dance, Fortnite dance, Fortnite dance, Fortnite dance, Fortnite dance, Fortnite dance, Fortnite dance.
You cannot.
You
Quick
suck.
scope, quick scope. Oh, kill him, kill him. Oh, kill him. Oh, kill him. Oh, kill him. My trusty my trusty first hit. Later, bitch. Later, bitch. Damn it, no! Fuck you!
Take you from me, Jason. Don't let them.
I'm coming back. I don't give a shit. Wait.
They deserve to die, Jason.
I sacrificed
Make
myself.
them suffer.
Whatever.
It's always a good time.
Whatever. Trash players. See you later. Trash players. Mr. Bradley says, Pete, the Star Wars Spice thing is ringing a bell. I don't know if it was in the movies or in the Han Solo books. I think it was a mix of the both. 3PO mentions it in the first one, going to the Spice Mines. It's in the Solo movie as well. They're at the Spice Mine. If I'm incorrect, please correct me, guys, in the chat. But I'm pretty sure they're at the Spice Mines. So it says Trump's from 70s to 2020s always supported the left. Yeah, man. He was dumping money left and right into New York at that time. All through the 80s and 90s, he was dumping money into the New York area. OG says the episode with Lincoln made it clear that they were past racism, as well Star Trek 4 made it clear they did not swear. Sad. Exactly. Oh, that episode. The Savage Curtain, the one with Lincoln. I love that episode, but by then they were completely out of an effects budget. Like, they shouldn't have tried the effects on that episode. I like the other episodes where they were more scaled down. There's only one cringier episode in that season to watch, special effects wise, and that's the one with Spock and the space hippies. Where they have to loop it. Where they have the loop of the guy eating the apple, eating the apple that kills him, and they loop it and it's again, and Kirk says, "Don't eat it! Don't eat it!" It's like, by that point, they didn't even bother going back to refilm, different reactions and takes. It was just like, use it, just cut it, double it twice. We don't have the budget. Fuck it. So it says, lovely. TechCom says, by the way, my new next Terminator, what if Cyberdyne's alarm wasn't tripped? Basically, they enter and blow up Cyberdyne without engaging the police and a firefighter, the T-1000 arriving. Nice. Tech says, yes, there are the spice mines on Kessel, and it's established that spice was a drug during drug because it's what Jabba was inhaling from his hookah. There we go. There we go. He liked to get high on spice and watch the Rancor go in action until Luke ruined it for him. Inti says that Rome, planet in the OG Star Trek, was... Oh, that's the episode where Bread and Circuses, where geez, I think that's the one. It could be two that I'm confusing, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the right path, where the people worship the sun, and Kirk and Spock and McCoy first think it's like the sun in the sky, but it turns out to be the son of Jesus. They learn, and the former ship has interfered and shown them how to like have TV, and they're watching like gladiator fights on TV. You're right. That episode is a little jumbled into... That episode is a little jumbled. Inti says, I've seen clips of a planet full of mobsters. Are you talking about... that's Iosha. That's in Piece of the Action, the episode, second season. That's one of my favorite episodes. It took me a minute to remember the name of the episode. But that's the one where Spock, Kirk, and McCoy go, and a ship has crashed there and interfered with the natural progression of the planet, and they took on the likeness of like 30s, like 20s and 30s Chicago, like Depression era mobsters. Everybody's trying to hit one another. That's another good one. Mr. Matthews says that. Oh yeah, exactly. The Leia. Slave Leia. Mr. Matthews said, sorry that was too rough, but you know, Jabba was at least planning on it. Well, yeah. I don't think Lucas would have kept that in the script at the time, though. Hey, something happened to my YouTube again. Hopefully I'm still on. Yeah, it says I'm still live. OG says, to their credit, Kirk Trek made as many episodes in 3 years as Game of Thrones, a budget equal to 1 or 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. Yep. I'm here. I hear you, man. I hear you. Today's TV shows are so soft. The actors are soft too. Everybody, it's ridiculous. We're out. We'll find another room and we'll go to Chad. I think it's time to switch to Chad anyway. But like back in the day, you'd get like 30 episodes a season of, like you say, of Kirk Trek. There were like 28 episodes a season, I think. Well, would that be? Does that add up to 79? I could be wrong. Time to go back to Chad. And we'll go as part 5 again to finish up the night. Tex says, speaking of getting high, originally that's what Riddler and Two-Faces were supposed to do in Batman Forever. Getting high on the knowledge gained from the box. They passed around the brainwaves stick like a hookah. I wouldn't be surprised with that movie, where that movie was going. It seemed like a lot was edited out. Can't believe I've only been streaming for an hour, and my studio says 2 hours. Can't believe I had you guys sitting around just watching. Nothing. Brutal. Thanks, YouTube. Thank you so much. Mr. Matthews says, yeah, it was implied that they were getting off on it somehow, but the movie completely yada-yada'd over that part. Exactly, Speaking of Jim Carrey 90s movies, I just heard that The Cable Guy was added to Netflix here in Canada. I had a VPN, but I put it on pause. I'm going to watch that. I haven't watched that movie in a while. I'm going to give it another try. OG says they used the sets and costumes they had on hand to save money, yet another parallel Earth. Yeah, exactly. They borrowed from another, whatever was filming in the other studios. That's how all that stuff was back in the day. You just did whatever was to be filming. Batman 66 was the same way. Whatever was going on in that studio, that was what we were filming that week. Texas, I didn't know. I don't know if Jabba would have banged Leia. He might have had some men of his choice do it. Ugh. Mr. Matthews says, there was that montage that showed them fighting
do
over the
something.
forehead
I
thing.
have to
Yes,
escape.
yes. I can clearly see what you're talking about. I was so excited to see that movie, because I remember, like, Batman 1989, I've gushed about it here on the stream. That was, like, one of my first movies in the theater that I just, like, I've had other movies that I liked, but that movie just blew me away, seeing Batman 89. And Batman Returns, even though it wasn't quite as good, it was still really good. Like, I love that movie too, and I was so excited to see Batman Forever in the theater. Couldn't wait to get there, and it sucked. I got in the most part. Like, Val Kilmer actually wasn't too bad in the role, but just they really wore down. They really watered down what I think they were going for. I think you guys are really onto something there, both you and Mega, that they watered down what they were going for, and it ruined the movie. And he says, I know it's a modern thing to do, but I'm getting sick of the long season format on TV. I wish at least a couple of TV shows went back to the self-contained episodes. Thank you. Thank you, indeed. Especially Picard. Star Trek was always serialed. Always. It was an overarching, like, voyage, but you got snippets. You got the episodic entries. I don't care about the long stories. I don't care. It's just so boring. I'm out. I'm done. I'm good. Like, TV is supposed to be disposable. If I want something long, I'll read a book or watch a movie. Another rant. You got me on the rant. Mr. Matthews says, even though the movie never really bothered to explain what either of them were getting out of it.
Yeah, but it's good. I'll go work on the car.
Or she says, Jabba was a pure heart. And she says, even cartoons are starting to do that long format stuff. That's ridiculous. It's a cartoon. Like, it's a cartoon. These are supposed to be made for children, where they can just pick up and watch whenever they want. Just ridiculous. Mr. Matthews says, OG was a gangster, a vile gangster. And he says in the Batman Forever comics, there's a bit where they sat on a sofa with the girls, Sugar and Spice, passing the stick around. YouTuber Score PN covers this in a video on the comic. Mr. Matthews says, Batman Forever was super dumb, starting with Two-Face. Yep. Yep. I was so excited to go see it. It was such a letdown. Such a letdown. Tech says, the scene shouldn't have been deleted. The scene that shouldn't have been deleted was the giant bat scene when Bruce mirrors his movements. I planned for a scene like that for Blue Sugar, but with the dragon instead. Nodding. Sounds like a good idea, and you're right, Tech. Mr. Matthews says, honestly, Jim Carrey's Riddler was pretty spot on if you accept that he was based on Gershwin. I'm running around with a foam part, and we're just gonna die, guys. Oh, Gorshin, yeah. Frank Gorshin. All good. Whoops. Did the box just say phone ready? Oh god, I didn't notice that before. Phone ready.
Yes, is this the police? We're the kids at Camp Crystal Lake. We need you. We need you now. He's killing us. He's killing everyone. Hurry!
Police have been called. And he says Two-Face and the Riddler were the same character in Batman Forever. They were. They should have picked another villain. Or written them differently. Why was Two-Face such a comic relief? When is Two-Face ever a comic relief like that? Luigi says, I knew what you meant, M. Mr. Matthew says, I really like Batman Returns, but unfortunately started that annoying trend of needing 2 Batman villains or more per movie. Well, yeah, it tried to raise the stakes, but it really had 3. Because it had Max Schreck. But Catwoman, if you're calling him the villain and not Catwoman, because Catwoman's supposed to be one of the rogues gallery or whatever. But Christopher Walken's awesome in that as Max Schreck. When he pushes Selena Kyle out the window. What's that sound? Nothing. Out the window. Text says Batman Forever had some issues, but it's the best live-action portrayal of Batman. Keaton was Batman pretending to be Bruce, and Bale was Bruce pretending to be Batman. Kilmer balanced both perfectly. Kilmer was pretty good. He was alright. This is the villains. And the story itself.
Man, what are you talking about,
Mr. Matthews says they were into both yucked it up the entire movie. That's what I mean. And Tommy Lee Jones plays such a badass. Why would they have Tommy Lee Jones?
I'm just Jim Barney.
I like how much cocaine was flowing around that set. That's all I want to know. How much coke was flowing through that set? Text says Two-Face was more like Joker. Riddler was more eccentric due to his creepy obsession with Bruce. And he says, to be fair, Tim Burton's main focus was on the villains. Batman is barely in Batman 89, especially in Batman Returns.
Alright, Nerd Girl coming in with the gas.
Dapper Dragon. Talking it up.
If,
But
you're
you're
looping
not
Jason
wrong,
currently,
E.T.
don't
You're
respond
definitely
to this
not
early,
wrong.
but try and see if you can hide him away from the car.
We're just going to wait this one out, guys. I don't have a map. One of the cars is gone. I think we're just going to wait for the... Epic PP Slapper isn't doing too well, so we're just going to wait till about the minute 30 mark and then start making our way towards one of the exits. And hopefully we can make it out. Safely. Let's read what's on the news bulletin. Got Karloff's General Store. I mentioned that before on the stream. The nod from Part 6 to Karloff. Sheriff Garrison's number, 555-0013. We got Tornell spiced canned ham. Some type of picture. Not sure what that picture is in the top right. A map. Some type of news clipping. Okay, we're at a minute 30. Killed enough time. Let's go. Text says Schumacher gets a lot of flack, but he intended to be dark like Burton. It was the studios interfering by injecting camp into it. Though to be fair, Batman Returns scared me as a kid as well. Well, yeah, Batman Returns is pretty dark at times, that's for sure. And studio interference always does it, man. You're right about that. Mr. Matthews says, yeah, but I don't think Batman truly comes into the movie until the museum scene, which was about halfway through the movie. Yes, the museum scene. I'm melting. I'm melting. Where does he get those wonderful toys? Exactly. Exactly, Mega. Boom. And he says the Batman Returns was a little too dark for its own good. That part where the penguin bites the nose was just too much. Yes. Yes. And how he just kills the one clown. He just shoots them. Just down. Penguin was always hard on his goons, but not that. Not that hard. Forgot to get a drink before the stream. I'm going to have to grab a drink after this game. Ah, yes. Chad makes it out. Cobra Kai, never die. And with that, I need to get a drink. I'll be right back.
Oof, this is cringy.
Oops. Sorry, guys. I left you watching nothing. I'm back.
Yeah, he is. Come on, Tommy.
Mr. Matthews says, or when the penguin dies by getting its throat slit open. Yeah, that's a little...
All right, good.
Little gross.
All right, we'll take it from here.
Another movie. The PG-13 rating, right to the max. It says, I still have my Batman 89 clamshell
You
VHS
protect the
tape.
sexy
Gift
booty
from my
now.
dad back in the day. It has
Just go into
sentimental
the
value.
cabin with the mask. It'll be fine.
This old tape I still have. Nice.
I'll have
That's
I'll
awesome,
have the
man.
mask. You
I
said
do.
you
I just
you have it.
dropped Yeah, it's right
Okay,
there.
hold on.
Mega says,
Right
Cobra
there.
Kai, never
Like
die.
flashlight on it.
Hells yes.
And he says, plus a VHS copy of T2 I got as a mistake.
Tommy,
It's
grab
never
the
a
X.
mistake to have
Tommy,
a
grab
copy
the
of
X.
T2, man.
All right, guys. Let's
Mr.
get our
Matthews says,
kill on.
I look for VHS tapes at Goodwill every now and then. I'd love to find rental copies of Gremlins or Ghostbusters. Oh man, having the rental copies.
Cops can witness us.
I remember I went to
Grace.
like my secondhand shop, the Value Village. So we talk about our stuff all the time on here. But I went there and I found like all these old laser discs, but the rental copy, like the cut copies. I should have grabbed some of them. There were some great stuff in there, like old horror movies. Nothing like too crazy. And no Star Wars or anything. If there would have been Star Wars or
Epic
like a Universal Horror or Friday the 13th, I would have been all over it. But
Don't panic if you grab
Cummins
us.
says, I still remember the VHS promos for the T2 movie, especially the subway
See
promo.
behind us? Yep, I see him.
Let's get to the main road. Now.
Nice.
Yeah.
The mask is off, so we're good.
Right here.
Jason, Mother is talking to you.
E, yeah, hit E.
Come to Mommy.
There it is.
Yes!
That's a good boy. That's my Jason.
It's what you get. It's what you get for trapping my car.
And he says, I don't have a VHS. I've never been able to watch that Terminator 2 tape. I got it as a mistake in like 2005. It's still sitting in the drawer. Gotcha.
Good job, guys.
And he says, I bet my Batman 89 tape is filled with fungus.
All right, I'll say it's good
Oh, it
game.
should just be.
That was,
If
that
it's
was
in
a
its
lot of fun.
clamshell, it should still be fine. Mr. Matthews says, I don't think I would ever watch VHS, even though I have a VCR and a handful of tapes. I still have it, and I have a digitizer. Like, I have it back in the day. It's old school, but I still have one. Where you can transfer onto PC, so I might get around to do that, to do some old school, like, to make it look grainy. But hey, I got so many ideas. And so little time. One day I'll get there. One day. And we're back in the menu section because whoever was Jason must have been the host and he got salty because he died. So let's see what's going on Google. Isaac Jason fan, what's going on, man? How's it going? Thanks for coming in. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by Crystal Lake. Crystal Lake Fridays here. We play every Friday, Friday the 13th, as you can see. And I'm taken by your name. You're also a Jason fan. So good to see you. Megatech says, funny thing, while Terminator 2 heavily product placed Pepsi, Terminator 1 product placed Coke. Those movies truly are night and day in comparison. Coke and Pepsi, night and day. You're not wrong about that, Mega. The Pepsi, we talked about that, but you're just as right about Coke. And he says, sorry, Mr. Matthews says, actually, I take that back. Some kid shows never made it past VHS. Yep, and they're only. I was actually talking that today about that today with one of my coworkers that I just hired, a new person, and we were talking about things that she collects and her husband collects and that I collect, and she was saying that she collects a lot of kid shows that aren't available on DVD, things that you can't get. And I was saying the same thing. Understandable. If there's things that you can't get on Blu-ray or DVD, then you're going to have to go. You're going to have to go to those sources. You're going to have to go to Laserdisc, and you're going to have to go to VHS. Oh yeah, or they were super scanned, or they were released once. They were released once for like a month, and then deleted, or what do you call it? Put out of production. OOP. Some type of weird sound, and no one's talking, but it's in the background of the game. Could be in the background of my place. I don't like it, man. What if there's something out there? What if it's that guy Jason? Sorry. Channeling some Part 6 Jason. OG says VHS is a retired system. I have no time or reason to rewatch, but who knows what the future holds. Well, yeah, exactly. That's why I figure I go back and put it like in a YouTube video. That'd be fun. Like, spin it in the background. Court. Court is that character from Part 6. The annoying guy. Text says here in the States, we still haven't gotten the 90s Spider-Man cartoon on DVD, and yet we got the 90s X-Men, 90s Batman, 90s Iron Man, 90s Avengers, and 90s Superman. Why no 90s Spider-Man on DVD in the US? I have no idea, man. Mr. Matthews says, for years now, I've been looking for that Claymation Christmas special. Anyone remember that? It's my white whale. We talked about that at Christmas. That's the one with the raisins. With the California raisins. I will keep my eye out for it, my friend. If I see it secondhand, I will pick it up. I watched it on YouTube and stuff. I've never seen a copy of it. I have the California raisins. I have a vinyl record of it. But I don't have, not of the show, of the actual California raisins, but I hope you find it, but I will keep my eye out in my searches as well. My flea markets and pawn shops. I don't think that was pressed very often. But I'm going to be going to the flea market this weekend. Probably the pawn shop too. In 2090s, Iron Man was trash. They put that on DVD, but not the far superior Spider-Man. Yeah, exactly, man. It took me a minute in my mind to remember the 90s Iron Man. I'm like, oh god, not that. Mr. Bradley says you can't even find the whole damn thing on YouTube. Oh, that thing on YouTube isn't the whole thing? I thought it was, like, with the dinosaurs and stuff. Unless they took it down, because I remember watching it a couple of years ago. I showed my girlfriend, Rebecca, because she didn't believe it was a thing. So I had to show her. And you had the California raisin on tape. Nice. I think I did it in the day as a kid too, but I recently, like, during my travels and my crazy vinyl collecting days, I think I picked up a couple copies of it. I sold some of them, but I still have one. Oops. Not doing too well, Chad.
There. Got it.
Not doing too well, my friend Chad. Okay. Let's do this. Mr. Ben says, you're going to the flea market? Hey, if you find Little Samson or Panic Restaurant on the NES, pick them up for me. Oh, yeah. I totally will. Especially at my pawn shop, because they have, like, tons of the games that we talk about on here. Not those two. They have tons of the other hard-to-find games on here that we talk about. Or just, like, general garbage retro games and way overpriced. But I will keep my eye out. Speaking of the 90s cartoon Spider-Man, there's a Morbius movie coming out. Everything I know about Morbius I learned from the cartoon. He had Optimus suction cups on his hands. And he says real Morbius is a regular vampire who drinks blood. What's with his fangs? I believe so, but I think he's like genetically modified. He's not a real vampire.
Anyone out there, you have to come to
Like,
Camp Crystal
through
Lake.
another
Bring a
vampire. I
gun.
think like he did it through
Oh, God,
like an
help us.
experiment.
Jason's real. Please help us. Oh God, he's killing us.
That was me calling Tommy. I'm contributing. And I have a map. They're looking for the sweater. Chad to the rescue. Whoops. Put me downstream. I was trying to go the other way. I don't think this Jason's very good, guys. I was swimming through the lake and he didn't come after me, making a ton of noise. Text says, same, the 90s cartoon was my intro to Morbius. I like the character, but I didn't like him and Felicia Black Cat Hardy being a thing. I remember him from Spectacular Spider-Man. He had a couple stories in that cartoon, in that comic, and I collected some of that. Ones I could find in the discount bin. The Spectacular Spider-Man's often found their way into those packs where you'd buy 5 comics in it for $1. So they were definitely not as popular as Amazing Spider-Man at the time.
Is that a person?
Really? Tough choice. Alright. And he says in the cartoon is a genetic experiment gone wrong, but I know they wussified the Spider-Man cartoon. I'm guessing Morbius was a regular vampire. Yes. In the comic he was a regular vampire. But through scientific experimentation. Ah! You suck, Jason! Haha, you suck. Haha, you suck. Haha, you suck. Text says, though I did see a comic, collects Spidey with 6-arm battling the lizard. Oh, when he had 6 arms because of the genetic mutation. Yeah, I remember that story arc. Battling the lizard and Morbius.
In the front.
Shoot him!
Shoot him and then get in. Shoot him and then get in.
Whoops. Just go. Just go. Mr. Matthews says, yeah, I think the most Spider-Man villains had essentially the same origin story, science gone wrong, just like him, man. And Tech comes, I don't recall Morbius being the cartoon. Oh, no, I didn't mean the cartoon. I meant the comic, Tech. He was in the comic. Hey, we're watching early 2000s emo kid, Hex. Mr. Matthews says, I could be wrong, but I think Morbius, Lizard, and Doc Ock were all scientists that got tragically altered by their own scientific stuff. Exactly. Well, Spider-Man was a victim of the science he was studying. Science gone wrong. And he says there were some weird things in those old pre-90s Spider-Man shows. In the 80s, Spider-Man and his amazing friend, they go looking for Hitler's gold in one episode, and Red Skull tries to get it first. I do not recall that episode, Inti. I'd have to go back and watch it. Tex says, not only that, but all Spidey villains had the same flaw. They had great power, but always used it irresponsibly no matter how sympathetic they were. Same with Batman villains having egos, exactly. That balance, that contrast. Tex says, sacrificial lamb. Yep. That's what I said, just go. I missed the shot. Get the hell out of here. Run. I mean, drive. Leave me behind. I'm good. Live, die, repeat. That's a pretty good name. Gotta give that up.
Oh God. No.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Want some more?
And now we just wait as always. Wait. To see what happens. So let's continue on. AJ still has the sweater. Do they have the mask off? They don't have the mask off. What are they doing?
Damn it. Oh God.
Why does Tommy have a pipe? You can't get the mask off with a pipe.
You like that?
You broke
asshole?
the axe. You're dead.
Damn it!
You're
no.
dead.
Come on, maggot head.
You're dead.
Yeah. Fuck you, Jason.
Oh, and the mask is off now. Mr. Matthews says, I had to stop going to the flea market years ago. It got way too frustrating.
No!
In terms of not being able to find the stuff or finding the stuff and it being too pricey. I still like to go once in a while. Mr. Matthews says people want double eBay prices for absolute crap. Exactly. It's always dinged up or scratched games, like not working, not tested. It's like, yeah. It's just because all the other stuff, the better stuff's like so scarce now. So they're jacking up the prices on the junk.
Why won't you fucking die? Help me! Please! Anyone!
And he says the internet ruined flea markets. Really? Really? It ruined secondhand shops for me too, because everything in Value Village is priced off eBay now. Like I went into Value Village today, and I saw a bunch of old Genesis games. And some were out of the case, some were in the case, like case and box. Most of it was sports, but they had a box of a couple of games, and I looked at them. There was nothing too special. There was like Echo the Dolphin and a Sonic game. I can't remember the other one they wanted, but they wanted like $25 for each one of them. I'm not paying $25 for them. No, thank you. Mr. Matthews says, I still love hunting, but the flea market became way too much commitment for so little payoff. Agreed. Secondhand shops are much better. That's why I don't go to, I agree, I don't go to the flea markets as often as I used to. Usually maybe once a month, if not every other month. But I go to the pawn shops a lot more because I find people dumping the stuff there. And then I can usually work with the people at the pawn shop in terms of price. More than the people at a flea market. Tex says Blue Shogun is going to be a buy like Superman. He has great powers, but he wishes to live a normal life, whereas other people seek to use their power to be more than normal. That sounds like a good idea. Definitely a good take on it. Whoa. Speaking of that, I can't believe we haven't talked about it. We talk about comic stuff all the time, and we're talking here in the chat about comic stuff and superhero stuff. I heard a rumor, I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter as well, or people heard this elsewhere,
But it's time to
that there's talk of Cavill being the next X-Men, the next Wolverine. Cavill might be the next Wolverine in Captain Marvel 2. And of course, they're trying to throw Wolverine in to save Captain Marvel 2 because Captain Marvel 1 was terrible, so they have to put the best X-Men into that story. But hey. Oh, a bit like Superman. Got it. But yeah, like I was saying, I saw that earlier. A couple people that I follow that are usually in the know on Twitter. It might just be an internet rumor, but they were talking that Hugh Jackman... not Hugh Jackman, sorry. Because I said that he would be a good takeover for Hugh Jackman, Henry Cavill, because he's coming into the role about the same age when Jackman took over Wolverine. Text says, speaking Captain Marvel 2, anyone here check out my Anna Paquin and Captain Marvel 2 video on my May profile. I haven't seen that video yet. I'll have to check it out. Is there rumors that Anna Paquin's going to come back to play Rogue? Oh, you're Maine. I thought you meant you made it in May. But no, I'll check it out. Mr. Matthews says, I have a better idea for Captain Marvel 2, Don't Bother. Well, it's already in production, but I knew they were going to do something to save it, to try to, because they divided the fan base so much, and they could stuff the ballot box and give movie tickets away at like Abercrombie and Fringe and the Gap and movie and food places, I mean. But people didn't go to that movie. People didn't go to that movie at all. Mr. Matthews says, I'd be more interested in She-Hulk. Green chicks are hot. I agree. She-Hulk was awesome. We talked about that on Jez's stream recently. I think her name's Jennifer Walters or something. She-Hulk's real name. I used to love She-Hulk back in the comic. But I think it was also from Star Trek, watching the Orion Slave Girls. Going back to the original series Star Trek, if OG is still with us. With that. But hopefully we didn't lose OG when the whole thing happened. But no, I think he was there after the video came up and down. Could be over on Doomcock's channel though, because Doomcock's rocking around this time. All good. We're getting to the latter part of the stream. I mean, I've only been streaming for about an hour and a half. But my studio says over 2.5 hours. I'm readied. Name me. Why are we on random? What the? There we go. Red shirts there. He says green women. Where? The Orion slave women. It's all about them. You, a trader in green women? Going back to the cage. Still one of my favorite Star Trek episodes or stories. Mr. Belly says, because I don't think anyone ever really liked Captain Marvel in the comic. And no, I didn't. Richard says, hi everyone, lurking and all working. Well, thank you so much for being here, Richard. And I didn't mind Captain Marvel in the comic. She was just kind of there. She wasn't like my favorite character, but she was just kind of there. And this Captain Marvel was way more annoying than Monica Rambeau. Monica Rambeau should be the Captain Marvel, but we talked about this way back in DLC. That's a tough one. That's a tough one, Mega. Orion Slave Girls or Twi'leks?
Let's get away.
An OG still with us. But no Brent. Wake up, Brent. Wake up, Brent. We had Nerd off the top, but he left because he thought I wasn't streaming. Tex says Carol Danvers was, as Miss Marvel, was better. Her character was assassinated in her very first outing as Captain Marvel. Yep, you're not wrong. Rich is not at work. Says not at work, working around the house. That's the best time, man. You putting on YouTube and doing stuff around the house. I do that all the time. Hell, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll watch other videos. I'll watch Megan's video tomorrow. I'll watch Nerd's video tomorrow. While I'm just doing stuff around the house. Inti says Orion girls are just green humans, those tentacle things. I don't know, but I'd go for the Orion girls. Inti says they're like succubi, right? The Orions? I mean the Twi'leks? I'm not too sure about that. And OG says, be precise, Red. Going for it again, guys. Oh, Chad wanted to help. All Chad came here to do is help. And he gets stopped. Whoops! Well, that's not good. Whoops!
Oh, fuck. Who is that?
You're welcome!
Oh my god, I can't look.
You're welcome. Why is Jenny repairing the battery when there's an AJ there? Is that a dead body? A person?
A person?
Regina George. Oh yes, Indy, you're right. You're right. They can bewitch. They can put the spell on. I thought you were talking about the Twi'lek. But yeah, you're right about the Orions. They can put like a spell on them. Similar to another, they did that idea. That's from original Trek. They did that idea, but I remember there was that other one with the Klingon. Was it a Klingon? No, it's some type of princess was trying to marry, had to marry. And the Klingons were trying to interfere. Surprise, surprise! In original Trek, but the Alas of Troyes had to marry the other planet's representative to prevent a war. And if she cried on you, you like fell in love with her. So that happened to Kirk. But yeah. You guys remember that episode? That was a good episode. I say I like that because I was kind of stumbling over myself as I was talking about it. That episode where they did the thing and the... Yeah, that thing. That was a really good episode.
Please, no!
Somebody has the sweater, but I thought they already died. Oh no, that was the last game. I got killed in this one. Here we go. Mr. Matthews says, Pete, what do you look for at the flea market records? Oh, no, I don't collect records anymore, man. I've cleared out so many. I've done so good on that, just getting rid of garbage.
Oh God!
Not garbage, but getting rid of just like dead space. Because I had so many. So now I usually just look for games and movies. That's about it. Horror movies, and then I look at video games and I get shocked at the price. But I still find some decent horror VHS once in a while by the VHS. Most of the time I'm after DVDs, I'll find some decent ones that are in good condition.
Help! Oh God!
You don't have the mask off. Where are the other people to help?
Fuck you, Jason! Damn it, just die! Just die! Die! Die!
Yeah, have the mask off yet? No, they do not. They're almost out of weapons, too. You can't hit before you get up. Before he gets up, you're wasting your weapons. There it is. It's off. It's off.
Take that, you bastard!
Get the mask, Tommy. Get the mask. Oh, he left. He pulled to me. Pulled to me as soon as I get the mask off. I'm like, I'm out of here. That's it. I'm out of here. I'm going home. Taking my ball and I'm going home. Nope. There goes the two-seater. AJ's out of here. Why did they, like, get him? What are you waiting for? Here we go. Here we go. This is what it was happening when I got killed. It took forever. It's funny we're watching this because when we were offline and you guys couldn't see what I was doing and I was still playing. This is what was happening. I was just walking around and they were just hesitant. They wouldn't. Then they finally did it. I'm like, just try to kill me. For F's sakes.
Jason, Mother is talking. You want some more?
There it is. Tommy with the kill shot. Over the top. With the reverb on it. Ooh. Defeated Jason. So yeah, I'm just on Twitter right now and I'm seeing that poor Jason got picked on. I'll read your comment in a second there, Mega. I'm looking on Twitter and it is trending that Cavill is rumored to be Wolverine. Even though he's a little tall to be a role. He's like 6'1". But here, we'll bring that over while we're waiting. So there is stories trending tonight that Cavill is going to be Wolverine. I'll watch that. Give it a shot. That he's going to be Wolverine in the MCU. I'll give it a shot. Like, I think he would have made a good Superman if he had a better director and a writer for those movies. He wasn't a bad Superman. It's the stories around him. So I'll give him a shot. Text says, I wonder how Blue Shogun should look right now. I'm thinking a bulky, bald, blue-skinned muscle man and a sleeveless karate gi, but I also need a dragon-like feature that isn't anthropomorphic. Thoughts? Well, you can make the dragon more like part of his attire. Like, you can make his armor look kind of dragony if you want to do that. Or maybe you can make one of his powers where he kind of like has an aura of a dragon. That's always a cool thing. I think I'm stealing that from like an anime from back in the day, but hey. And he says, killing Jason was very difficult in the cabins. They fixed that too. Yeah, man. It used to be impossible to get killed or be killed. Or be killed in the cabin. Game's so much easier than it used to be against Jason. Mr. Matthews says, eyebrows and hairstyles are a common way to evoke animalistic features without losing humanity. There you go. Tex, yeah, that's, think of Danny DeVito as Big Show. Yeah, people have too much time on their hands to make memes like that, to make GIFs, mashups. And he says he's too handsome for Wolverine, but they could just make him look gruff, look more gruff. Mr. Matthews says he was a great Superman. Agreed, he was awesome for what he was given. Like, he was boring in Man of Steel. He was kind of a murderer in Batman vs. Superman and just, I don't know what was going on there. And he says, let's bring back ugly, short, hairy Wolverine. I don't have a problem with that. I know a lot of Canadians like that. That's what he's supposed to be. Like an even more animalistic Joe Pesci with muscles and knife beards, knife hands. Mr. Matthews says, ugly people aren't allowed in movies anymore. Isn't that the truth? Nope.
Oh God, what am I gonna
do? We're back
do?
at it. Tex says the dragon armor might work, just hard to draw. Maybe the dragon armor will work better. Don't watch too much armor, just a few pieces. Yeah, and it could just have hints. Could just have themes. Oh, I'm at the top of the map. Boo. I'm at the bird cage. And nothing in 2 cabins. That is so lame. Mr. Matthews says, honestly, that's another role Wolverine could pull off. And before that, Mega says, Superman and Justice League is the one thing that movie did right. Also, Batman quipping, I'm not the one who brought a pitchfork, is in a deadpan manner, harken back to Batman Forever. But you're right, it's the one thing that's watchable in Justice League is Superman's character. And Mr. Matthews says a couple years ago anyway. And he says he doesn't have the face. Yeah, they can just CG all that stuff up. That's what they would do to Cavill too. Makeup and CG. They'd use aging, not de-aging. They'd use aging CGI. One health spray. Tex says, I hate when people say Batman doesn't smile, laugh, or tell jokes. He most certainly can. He's just subtle and deadpan about it. It's like Leslie Nielsen in Airplane, a serious person saying funny stuff. Exactly. Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And stop calling me Shirley. Inti says, when I think classic Wolverine, I think something like a fantasy dwarf, but stocky and deceptively strong. Well, yeah, exactly. But at least when they had Jackman playing the role, I think he was like 5'3", and he was short enough that they could make it kind of look that way. He was still wasn't short enough. They tried the speedball thing in X-Men 3, I think, with Colossus. The whole thing where they would like throw him. Text says like the "I'll get drive-through" line when he smiled because Jace admitted to loving Bruce more than Batman. Finally, somebody called the cops, so we don't have to do anything. We can just talk. Oh, the two-seater's underway. Nobody's done anything with the four-seater. Maybe we'll... He says a hospital? What is it? What is it, doctor? It's a big white building with patients in it. Yes, indeed. Love that line too. Airplane's a great movie. Second one's good too. I don't know if it's as good as the first one, but it's pretty funny. But I remember when I first saw Airplane, laughed my ass off when my buddy showed me that. The pizza dude is over there. Text says, ooh, that's good. And Marvel and Lord of the Rings crossover, Wolverine and Gimli would definitely get along. Billy, have you ever seen a grown man naked? That's not Leslie Nielsen's character, that's Peter Graves. Another great deadpan comedic actor. Do you like movies about gladiators, Billy? Have you ever been in a Turkish prison? Whoops. Ah! I never use this damn fuck. Oops. Almost swore. I never use the sleeping bag trick, but we'll see. Inti says the one thing people remember about Airplane is the inflatable autopilot. It's barely in it. Exactly! It's not even that funny of a joke. And somehow it became an iconic image. Yep. Multiple sprays. They can have it. I'll stick here. Cream? No thanks. I like my coffee black like my men. Cloris Leachman, I think, laid that line down. I used to know the cast pretty well. Could be wrong on that one. Ah!
Help! Oh God!
No! Stop!
Oh, you're right, Tech. It's the little girl. I thought it was the older woman. Like, you're right. You're right. It's a different character. The little Girl Scout, or the little girl in the seat with the pigtails. I screwed that one up, but you're right. Well, that was an easy victory. Smooth Chad, Cobra Kai never dies, except when it does. And he says movies are so wussified nowadays. They are. Comedy is dead. That's what Dave Chappelle said in that comedy. I still haven't watched that comedy special he has, but he's so right. There's no fun allowed anymore. You're completely right, indeed. No real jokes are allowed. No real jokes.
Why won't you fucking die?
The only type of joke you can have is stuff that's like in the office. That's somewhat inappropriate, but not really inappropriate. It's like halfway there. But people get offended by it. But it's not really funny stuff. Yes, Mr. Matthews. Thank you, Em. I'm thinking of the woman who spoke jive. Excuse me, officer. Or excuse me. I speak jive. Excuse me, stewardess. Tech says, also the scene of the woman waking up in the bed with the horse was also priceless. Yeah, Tech, strike first, strike hard. No mercy. Alright, guys. We'll have one more because Mr. Matthews, you were talking about me being verklempt off the top, but I was. I was talking about the Canadian winter.
Come home.
Throat's been bugging me today, so we'll get one more run in, then I think that's it, boys. But let's do it. But yeah, back to what Inti was talking about. Comedy can't be comedy anymore. It's just irreverent humor. That's what I was looking for. That was the term I was looking for. Stupid, irreverent humor. And Inti says, what's jive exactly? It's like street slang for what like African American would say in like the 70s, 60s or 70s. Like, you jive turkey. Like, if you ever watched the show Good Times? Yeah, she speaks in, like, something that would be in blaxploitation. Let's do a run as the bots. We'll do as a run as the bots. From the 70s and 80s. But, yeah, something that you'd hear in, like, a blaxploitation movie, or in, like, the Jeffersons or Good Times shows from like the 70s and 80s. Let's go to Packanack. And we'll be part 4. Tech says, by the way, Pete, have you looked into Inuyasha yet? Not yet. Not yet. I just got a couple Alita Battle Angel graphic novels from the library, so I've been perusing those. I've been waiting forever to get those from the library. Long waiting list. Richard Pryor, there we go. This is a good example. I can't wait to kill Chad. Might have to do 2 runs. It depends if we can find the people who hide. That's why these offline bot matches take so long. You kill the first 5 or 6, and then the last 2 hide, and you can never find them until you have rage, where you can sense where your sense is increased. Oh yes, that movie with Gene Wilder. Oh. Tech says, you want to hear some jive? Watch Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor, Red Fox, and Del Reese. That's another one. Sanford and Son. That's another show I was thinking about. Go watch Red Fox in Sanford and Son. Especially Lamont's friend Rollo. I used to love Sanford and Son. Still do. Still go back to it once in a while. But Red Fox is a great comedian. That's it. Shoot me, Chad. Shoot me.
Don't stop, Jason. They deserve to die. Make them suffer like
Whoops.
They want to hurt you, Jason. Don't let them.
That's it. See no evil, hear no evil. And he says, I liked him when he was a computer hacker in Superman 3, which inspired the plots from Office Space and Hackers.
That's my boy. Hunt them down and make them pay.
Nope.
Oh my God. What happened?
Jason, my boy, do you know what your gift is? No matter what they do, you cannot
Tech says,
die.
by the way, I got part
You
9,
can
Jason.
never
Still away to
die.
part 4 to get part 4 in weapon select. But nice, you got part 9. I like using part 9. You've seen me rock him before. Once you get the handle of him, he's just very weak. He's an easy kill. The Jarvis. Here comes the Chad is a dick, more like Chad has.
They deserve to die, Jason.
No dick.
Make them suffer.
Oh, there's one over there. But then we got Chad as a big dong, that guy we play with occasionally. Whoops.
Please, no!
Stupid friggin' firecracker delay.
Find them. Kill
Just
them.
remember there was that the actor Eddie Murphy played, or sorry, I think I misread that comment. The actor that Eddie Murphy just played. Come back here, Mitch. And he says, I saw that in the theater when I was like in the 1st grade. The see no evil, hear no evil? I think I remember it being in the theater.
That's my Jason. That's my special, special boy.
Please no!
Get up, Jason.
You're right about that, Tech, about Mitch.
Kill them.
Hate that character. Why they would make a character off that guy from part 3? The hippie from part 3. His death is funny in that movie, I'll grant that, but I don't know why you'd make a character based on him. I think they were gonna do more of all the characters because they started with the ones in part 3, which were probably their favorites. 2 pocket knives, get the heck out of here. Some of them didn't have any.
Know what your gift is. No matter what they do to you, you cannot die. You can never die.
Because they got Shelly, Mitch, and Fox. So I think they were planning on moving on to the other movies and adding other characters. Like having a Sheriff Garris character, that would have been pretty good for part 6. Or Megan? A playable Megan? That'd be interesting. Like Megan and Tommy working together. Really? You locked me in? Are you friggin' kidding me? Stupid bots. Oh. Indeed says, see no evil, hear no evil. Some parents took a bunch of school kids from the same class to the movies. Nice. And he chose that one. Gotcha.
That's my boy. Hunt them down and make them pay.
Who do we have left? We have 5 of 8. Tommy did get called. Could you imagine if he ever got killed by bots? I'd be like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. Was just about to shift and I heard him go through the window. What the heck? Through the window, Jenny.
They deserve to
AT
die,
says it was called
Jason.
Diego
Make them
Sordos
suffer.
y Mudos. Sorry if I butchered that. They called the cops in Spanish. It turns out literally the blind, deaf, and silly, which I think captures the essence of the movie. Pretty much. Where are you, Brandon? Is there a closet in here? I don't think so. No, there is. So maybe he did hide in here. Nope. Tex says, back to I know what you did last summer. I feel more sympathetic to Julie, and not just because she's played by Jen Love. It's because she's the only one who wants to do the right thing. I hear you on that. And he says, sometimes the titles are unrecognizable from the original during the shift overseas. Yeah, I've heard that as well from other people. Like our friend Cub from Germany. He tells us the names of titles in Germany. Oops. I think that's Tommy. Yeah, that was Tommy. I just saw this. Really, Tommy? Come back here, Tommy. That was my fault for letting them call Tommy.
Oh God!
Don't stop.
All right, Brandon, where are you?
To die. Make them suffer like we.
Tex says her so-called friends pressured her into doing something she really didn't want to. Real friends wouldn't do that. Nope. You're right, man. They would not. All right, where are you, Brandon? Mr. Matthew says, I don't understand that kill. I feel like if someone threw you through a window, I would survive. I know. I guess it's just the sheer force that Jason has behind him. I think I'm at the point where I gotta start checking. Because he's the last one. So he's either standing in a cabin and not moving, so he's not making noise for me to see, or you should still be able to sense him. Or he's under a bed, or in a closet, hopefully in a closet. These beds take forever to check. But once we have sense, once we have rage, we'll have better sense. Text says the fact that she kept up the lie at the end was just bad writing with no respect to the book. Pick up another knife. Wasn't I already in this cabin? Let's go down here. How many of these cabins are around? I was in this cabin before. That's why I looked at. I guarantee you he's probably like in the big house hiding, or hiding in plain sight like most of the... Nope. We'll have a payoff. We'll have a payoff. Just gotta find the right one. Can take this bed out while I'm here. And check in the washroom, because it's glitched. Ah, we have rage. Oh, he could have just been at the cops. Damn it. There he is. Improve rage. Improved rage. Text says at the end of the book, the 4 cops come clean. The movie had only 2 survivors, and yet they still couldn't come clean since they didn't really kill anyone in the beginning. Is he in the closet? He's in the closet to end the night. We'll do one more.
Don't stop.
The bots are pretty fast. We'll do one more and then the bots.
Make them
as long as
like
it doesn't take forever to find them hiding.
That's my good boy.
Only because you guys stuck around while I was streaming doing nothing. You stuck around for 45 minutes watching nothing. I will play one more as a thank you because of the efforts you guys make to support this. Because I appreciate it. Mr. Matthews said, did anyone here ever read the novelizations of Gremlins? I think we talked about it before. And Mr. Matthews said it was pretty good. I've seen it before, but I don't think I've read it. And he says there's a book or novelization of the movie. I guess my voice is starting to. Ended up on Higgins. And OG says, woohoo. Whoops, not the big one. Let's just go small. Easier to find these dick counselors. Mr. Matthews says it's a novelization of the script, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I saw Joe Dante talking last week or a couple days ago about more Gremlins movies that are just going to be a show. Maybe it was a TV show on HBO. Stripe and Gizmo, but half the book is from Stripe and Gizmo. Texas Slashing Cast is streaming Friday 13th right now, but in here's a loyal viewer. Thank you. Thank you, Mega,
They're out there,
for
Jason.
supporting the stream.
Find them and get your revenge.
But Slashing Cast do put a good show on too. This time I'm gonna bear trap the damn phone so they can't call the police. Bots calling the police. Next thing you know, they'll actually be escaping. Driving the car out. No, just getting in the car and sitting there. Oh, there's Vanessa. I heard of Vanessa. Going upstairs, I think. Yeah. I think you go out a window. Go out the window, Vanessa. No.
Get up, Jason.
Hopefully I'm blocking the door.
Find them.
I am.
Kill them.
I told you to go out the window.
Yes. Kill for mother.
Yeah, they've called Tommy then. Chad running right at me. I love how they're programmed to drop the firecracker right after. Uh-oh. My one trap has just been popped. Not even close to it. See you later, Fox.
Don't stop, Jason. They deserve to die. Make them suffer like we did.
Yeah, it's Victoria. The real nice girl from part 7. Likeable character. Oh, trying to put the battery in.
You know what your gift is. No matter what they do to you, you cannot die. You can never die.
See if she jumps out this window. I think she's still in there. Nope. Went underneath the bed. She's underneath the bed. I saw her like moving. I will break you. I'm sure I saw her go underneath the bed. Yep.
They deserve to die, Jason. Make them suffer.
What does Tommy have, a bear trap?
Oh God, no!
Get up, Jason. Find them. Kill them.
Tech says a recent update must have improved the bots, hence why they don't behave like that anymore. Yeah, they did. They still suck. They're still stupid, but that last update, where they added a bunch of stuff to the to the group play options.
No.
Here, I'll give you the Jarvis. Give you your own kill to me. Oh, that's not the Jarvis. It's the wrong one. Hit the wrong button. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's still a good one. You're not calling the cops, Tommy. You don't need to call the cops.
Hunt them down and make them
Mr.
pay.
Betty says, I hope Gremlin series turns out better than the Dark Crystal series. I never watched it. As soon as I saw Netflix, I kind of just tuned out. I'm still shocked The Witcher is halfway decent. Made by Netflix. What the hell? Adam. What the hell? He must have had a first aid spray to survive that. And not be like limping.
Don't let them.
Injured. I knew he was gonna get out. They never stay in the cabins. Just keep moving around. Getting out again. Never stay in the cabins. There's Jenny. I think there's two in there. Nope.
Jason,
So many flare guns.
you know what your gift is. No matter what they do to you, you cannot die. You can never die.
Really, Chad?
Get up, Jason. Find them. Kill them.
And he came back. In the door.
That's my boy. Hunt them down and make them pay.
Really? She going for the sweater? She's going for the sweater! But Tommy's dead. So good to look with that. Oops. Oh, get out of here with the damn firecrackers. I lost her in the bush. Texas Chad has no head. And now he has no head. And that Blue Shogun, like Arnie, is old action flicks with a badass story intros in each story, but his first intro is going to be like Willis and Die Hard arriving home in LA on a plane. She's hiding. She went in there, and I can't see her. Oh. Multi-minded Scott is here. Yep. Oh, Jenny. Thanks for stopping by, Scott. We're just in the last...
That's my boy.
Amos
Hunt
Buddy
them
says, well, that's what I've
down,
heard.
make them pay.
We're just in the last bot match of the night. Wrapping it up shortly. That better not be the radio. Probably is. Nope. Somebody's still trying to repair the phone. Yeah.
Oh God. No.
Run into my bear trap and die. And of course a pocket knife.
Get up, Jason. Find them. Kill them.
Oh, he died. He did go in the bear trap. He died in the bear trap. Lols. Scott says, now I'm chilling, eating some frozen yogurt twisted dough. Nice. Who's left? Deborah Kim. So where's Deborah hiding? Sound bubble was over this way. Maybe I'm wrong. Mr. Bethy says, I forget to ask what game you have in the back room there. Oh, I put on Tenchu Stealth Assassins. I put it on for Snow, thinking Snow would be in tonight. But I think he's streaming with Kermit. Because I know we've talked about that on the stream before. He's a big fan of it. PlayStation 1 old school. This is the worst part when you're trying to find Deborah and stuff and they're hiding. Until you have rage, it is literally the worst part against the bots. Oh look, there's a horse and some dogs in that photo. You're just hoping for a fluke. You're just hoping for that fluke that it happens. That you locate the counselor. I forgot to check the barn. The barn is always a good place for the bots to hide on this one, on Higgins. Mr. Bundy says, yeah, I think that came up in the sequels to my original game's topic, I think. Yep. Oh, there she is. There's Deborah. She's also so stealthy. She's hard to find. Come back, Deborah. Don't leave. I just want to talk. Really? Really?
They want to hurt you, Jason. Don't let them.
And she has a friggin' health spray. Of course she does. And she's kind of fast, so she's gonna be making ground on part 4 on Slowbee, Jason. Come on, be in there. Yes! Yes! Scott says, yep. All Jason wants to do is roast some marshmallows.
Make them suffer like we.
Well, that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. Thanks so much for sticking around. Despite the hour-long technical difficulty when I was streaming and I wasn't online. I don't know what the hell's wrong with YouTube and OBS, but I got to keep a better eye on that. But thanks so much as always. Off the top, Mr. Matthews, OG Soy and Nerd, and everybody who comes in on the other half. Inti was here with us. Megatech, Scotty, Red Shirt, the Cubs, Robo, and Zombie, if they're with us, and everybody else who's popped in to join us for the evening. I'll be back next week as always on Friday. Whoops. So let's wrap it up, guys. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you. So, see you next time. Cue the music. Thanks, Scott. Have a good one, everyone. And again, thanks for the support while I was having the technical difficulties.